My guest today went from humble beginnings to building a global organization of over 150,000 people. But what stood out most wasn't the numbers, it was how she became the leader required to carry them. Welcome to the Doing What You Know podcast. I'm Ray Thigpen. This show is about closing the gap between knowing what to do and actually doing it. Through real conversations, lived experience, and practical insight, we focus on mindset, growth, and becoming who you were created to be. Let's get into it. Welcome to episode 5 of the Doing What You Know podcast. Today I have a very special guest. I'm so honored that she could come on with us today. This young lady she's got a story that she can tell. We've known each other off and on we've been in several different opportunities for the last 30 years or so. We've seen some good ones, we've seen some bad ones, and some in between. But anyway, without going in and further that, I'm going to let her explain some of her background, and I want to welcome on Miss Kelly Tolar. Kelly.
Well, hey, Ray, it's so good to see you. And I love how you said, yeah, for almost about 30 years. I mean, really, the clock is ticking. And but it seems like yesterday. You and I, we have enjoyed doing some things together in the past and in the future right now in the present.
Mm.
And I love that you've got a book out there that is super crazy amazing, and you got to get your highlighter when you get this book. I love it. Thank you so much for writing this book. It is really a study guide. So I'm always wanting to be learning. So a little bit about myself. I am here in Charlotte, North Carolina. I'm a single mom to a now, can you believe this, Ray? 18 years old.
I know. When she got her driver's license, I couldn't believe it. Now she's an adult, right?
Oh my goodness. Well, I've always loved the home-based business industry. But when my daughter was itty bitty little, we really wanted to make ends meet. So it is what it is. I went and worked in the school system because I couldn't afford a child care or after school care. And I said, well, I'll go work at her school. So we go in together and we can leave together. And matter of fact, on the news today, they were talking about some child care programs not available. And I was listening going, I remember the struggle. And but being a single mom, I always wanted to be able to be a stay-at-home mom. And I'm like, well, somebody's got to get the bacon, somebody's got to cook it, right?
Yeah, that's right.
So as my daughter was itty bitty little, I just went on to school with her, and I found myself working in the public school system for right at 9 years. So I am a U.S. Air Force veteran, and I went into the military after high school because, I didn't have scholarships, and scholarships aren't like you can get a scholarship for underwater basket weaving now, right?
That's right.
You can get a scholarship for jump roping, probably. And my mom, single mom, did not have the funds for college, and I didn't, like I said, I didn't win any of those scholarships, but I said, I'm going to go join the Air Force. So I had a great time, and hats off to all veterans and people in the service now.
Yeah.
So, and got out of the service, long story short, got out of the service, and I wanted to be my own boss, and I opened up a ladies consignment shop.
Nice.
And so I learned about the brick and mortar thing. You will live at your store. And so, but I had a best time decorating the windows and talking to the ladies. We had a good time. I sometimes think about reopening that store. But the store, okay, wrap this up. The store showed me I had the store when they were still giving out AOL at the post office.
I remember those days.
So I would log into my computer, your $3,000 computer,
Hmm.
and I would just, ooh, wait to hear, you've got mail.
Yeah.
And if you didn't hear it, you're like, what's going on?
Mm.
So I learned to love the computer, and I was like, I want to find a way to create income online. And I started doing like little programs online, and like Ray, like you said, we found some things that were great, but we found some things. Oh goodness, watch that.
There you go.
Yeah. So, hey, I'm a Southern Belle out here in Charlotte, North Carolina, and I love it. I'm close to the beach and the mountains, and as long as I got Wi-Fi, we're good.
There you go. So you are, would it be fair to say that you are the classic rags to riches story?
Well, I tell you, that's hard to say a yes or a no because I've made a little bit of money. I thought like a couple extra $100 a week online was good money. And at one point I thought maybe 1,000 or 2,000 a month online was good money. But what I'm doing now is great money. So when I started the company that I'm with, LiveGood, and my daily attire, woohoo,
Yeah,
look
yeah.
at TikTok. Okay, when I started what I'm doing, it was I started out as a customer. So I love like the title of your podcast, Do What You Know. Well, look, when I saw that I could buy some like healthier products at a good price, like, okay, I'm going to get me some vanilla protein. So I was doing what I knew. And then when the company launched their affiliate plan December 13th, 2022, I had to call up my credit card company and ask them, it's December 13th. Keep in mind, we're almost out of school for 2 weeks, and you're trying to do the holidays, the holiday spending, the holiday shopping, cooking, uh, and I was on a big fixed budget. So I called up the credit card company because I needed $50 extra on my credit card balance, credit limit.
Hmm.
And I remember on the phone for, it seemed like 45 minutes, an hour, like, well, they got to go to like Mars and back to, let's get this $50. Let's keep it moving. So I remember when the lady came back, you have been approved for extra $50 credit limit. I said, okay, can I use it right now? Gotta go. Bye. And I remember I got my affiliate link for LiveGood, and there's a shirt that I wear, Team No Sleep. I got to work so fast right away. And I remember we had a webinar, and I recorded that webinar, and in that way I could use the presentation over and over and over and over and over. But rags to riches, that's how bad it was when I had to get an extra $50 on my credit card.
Yeah.
And
Then
that's
that's the difference in a lot of people, their mindset, right? Is I can't afford to do this. Well, you didn't have the funds available, but in your mind, you're like, I can't afford not to do this. I got to get that $50 somewhere. And if had you not gotten that credit limit, you probably would have found it somewhere else, found a friend to borrow it from or something, right? Because
yeah.
you had that vision and you saw what was there. So yeah, I'm so happy that you did that, because a few months after that, I probably saw one of your Facebook posts. I don't think you DM'd me directly at that time, but I'm like, Kelly, what are you doing? Because you went to work. You didn't wait for spillover like so many people. There are so many joiners out there, and it's the doers that actually make a difference. They make a difference in the world. They make a difference in their own families. And so you were doing. I was more of a joiner. I saw what you were doing. It looked great. I joined the company with you. I'm still a customer today. I haven't done any promoting of the company in 3 years. So 2022 is when it started. I probably joined around between March and May of 2023. So I still use the products every month, and I've got the D3K2, the Factor 4, the probiotics now,
Awesome.
the collagen because I have terrible skin. So yeah, I use that stuff every month. I haven't talked about the business opportunity in forever, but I just got a cramp in my leg. That's terrible.
Magnesium.
Magnesium I use at night. Let me get a little more
Oh
water.
yeah, at night. Yeah, at night.
But
Definitely.
so I'm definitely a product of the product. I love the company. I'll for $9.95 membership and still be an affiliate, even if I don't promote it. I'll always be a customer.
I know,
Uh,
right?
so anyway,
Yeah.
that mindset is what drives people. I know you've probably touched hundreds of thousands of lives now in the last almost 4 years, 3 years.
Yeah.
2022, yeah, going on 4 years.
My personal team is over 150,000 right now.
That's
A hundred-
incredible.
Yeah, 150,000 all over the world. That is pretty wild. I mean, and different languages, different countries, like I said, all over the world. And I try not to go. Sometimes I go, well, I can't help everybody. Well, you help who wants help, and if I can't reach everybody, because now there was it was 2024, I traveled to 11 places. Like every month, I went somewhere to meet people for
Nice.
LiveGood. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And you know what? The very first time I had the flight was going to Palm Springs, California. Oh my gosh, I'm going like across the continent, right? and and I really felt like I needed somebody to help me through the airport.
Hmm.
And I got to the airport, and because I just haven't traveled in a long time, and things have changed in the airport. Airports have changed, and so thinking about going around to different places to help people, and that's what I did. I say, hey, these folks, they want some help. Let's fly there. These folks, let's go do it. And that was a really big stepping out of my comfort zone to go to the airport the first time.
I love that because
Yeah.
stretching the comfort zone is something I teach because you got to get out of that comfort zone.
Yeah.
Somebody, who was it? It might have been Bob Proctor, but somebody said that the comfort zone is where your dreams go to die. Actually, it might have been Earl Nightingale. But anyway, it was one of them. The comfort zone is where your dreams go to die. If you don't expand that comfort zone, you're going to be stuck right where you are. And so let me ask you this. Once you start expanding that comfort zone, even though it's a little difficult, what happens after you expand it? Do you find that it was as difficult as you thought it was going to be?
Oh, once you it's like getting on that scary roller coaster. You when it comes back into what do you call it? Comes back into the stall.
Yeah, yeah.
I want to do it again.
Right. So once you expand that comfort zone, then things become easier. And then your challenge is to expand it a little bit further. So instead of going through that roller coaster, you might go skydiving
Oh,
or
right,
okay,
right.
right.
Yeah,
That might be
exactly.
stretching,
Yeah,
but
once I went to one airport, I wanted to go to another airport.
right. And that was fun. Let's do it again.
Let's
It's the
do it
same way
again.
with like public speaking. The first time you did a presentation, you were probably scared to death.
Yeah,
Butterflies, knees shaking, but you don't let the people that see you presenting know it, right? And you just
sure.
force your way through it. People think that public speakers like Ray Hidkin, for example, I love Ray Hidkin. And I love hearing him tell the stories about being backstage with butterflies because he's afraid to go out and face these big audiences. It's not easy for anybody to do those things.
Right, right,
Everybody has to push through at some point in time. They either push through or they're stuck where they are. And so that expanding of the comfort zone, and I like to take baby steps. Just stretch it a little bit. You don't have to blow out the moon right now. Just go a little bit. And then when you get that little bit and you see that, oh, well, that wasn't so bad, then you can go a little bit further. And that's, I mean, you are such a perfect example of that by building this team and traveling so much. And I like what you're doing. You're kind of one of Jim Rohn's quotes that I like was work with the willing, not with the needy. Now, that's not to say don't help people that need help.
right.
It's just to say the people that are willing to go to work are the ones that you want to focus your time on. And that's what you're doing when you're traveling to all these places and doing the meetings for them. And
Right.
that's awesome.
Yeah, I like what you said, work with the willing. And what's that phrase? You can't lead a horse to water. What's that? How is it?
You can lead a horse. Yep. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, true. And thinking about like, well, some folks that want to build a home business or build their own convenience store or build whatever it is that they're doing, right? They gotta, for one, say, start within their mind, going, "I'm going to do this."
Mm-hmm.
Who else is gonna do it
That's right.
for you? No one's gonna do it for you.
Yep.
That was
Napoleon
like
Hill.
that ladies consignment shop. It was a 1,200. This is right. Got out of the military. 1,200 square foot store off of a main street. It's one of those old 1920. It was a five and dime store in the little town called Pineville, North Carolina. And because I would always hear the history of it, people come in the neighborhood. This used to be the five and dime store. And they had the tin ceiling and everything. But when I first looked in the window to get I'm like, because it said for lease or rent. Yeah, for rent. And I looked in and it was just a mess, a wreck. The walls had some holes in them. The floor was just ragged and everything. It was somebody had a computer shop. And so anyhow, it cleared out and it was just a wreck. And I remember my mom, bless her heart, she's in heaven now. And but at that time, she was like, Kelly, what are you doing? And I
Are
said,
you crazy?
Mom, can you see it? Look, we got some nice carpet. There's some fitting rooms back there, at least two. My showcase is going to be right here. Going to make some risers here in the window. Going to have a mannequin, and we're going to yes, and have an awning out front. And can you see it, Mom? And the walls are going to be painted kind of like a peach. And she was like, and you know what? It was just like taking that leap to do it. Let's do it. And that's, one of the things that I can say is that having the vision, the I'm gonna do it. I remember writing the little drawing my shop on a napkin and the night before, right? And I was like, and then the next day I went out looking for a real rental property. And just having that vision, right? Having that
Hmm.
vision. I am going to do this. And where there's a will, there is a way. I'm so about that. Where there's
Yeah.
a way. Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
And I think Napoleon Hill said in Think and Grow Rich that you got to have that burning desire, which obviously you did. And then it was probably Earl Nightingale that said it. Bob Proctor said it. If you can see it in your mind, you can hold it in your hand. So you were standing there looking at that shop and you already had it all visualized exactly how you wanted it laid out. And I bet when you opened it, it looked pretty doggone close to the way you visioned it.
It's pretty wild.
Yeah.
'Cause I drew the big rectangle windows, and it had a double door, but I had the big rectangle windows because I wanted a display. and I wanted to light those windows up at night. So when the whole main street was closed, I had little white twinkle lights around my windows. And I had Gina, my mannequin. I named her. People like, how's Gina today? And Gina's got on a pink hat. She is having fun. And so it was kind of fun, but it was very fun. But yeah, just having that vision. And just like in my LiveGood business, when I joined up, I wrote my numbers, and I still to this day I scratch numbers down every day, 3 times a day.
Perfect.
And I started just track your business, track your business.
And set your goals.
Set
Write your
your goals.
goals. Write your goals. Somebody said you have to write that goal down. If
Yeah.
you don't write it down, it's not real.
Yeah. The beginning of every morning, I got this notebook. I've got my calendar and a notebook here at my desk. I sit down at 5 a.m. I love 5 a.m. I try to beat myself here, getting to the computer screen.
Uh,
It's at 4:59. Whoa, so I do. I write my goals down. Goals, January 28th, 2026. Yep.
so
Uh,
success leaves clues, people. Success leaves clues. Write those goals down. And some people say, well, I read all the time. I read all the books. And that's why I wrote this book, because I read all the books and I listened to all the audios. I went to all the corporate meetings, right? I mean, I can quote Jim Rohn. Like, I listened to so many Jim Rohn tapes back in the days when I listened to cassette tapes.
yeah.
But there's one of the sentences in my book that I wrote that somebody read back to me, and I'm like, yeah, that sticks good, was information without application does not equal transformation. So
Oh,
that simply means you can read it, but if you don't apply it, nothing's going to change for you. And
yeah.
that's why in the book I've got exercises at every chapter. Like you said, it's a workbook and a study guide, and that is so important. And I learned that one of the last company conventions that I went to, it wasn't LiveGood. This was a couple years ago. I went to Dallas, Texas, about 200 people. This company was just launching. Met some great people from Germany, people from Canada, people from Australia. I mean, it was a global thing. But there were about 3 or 4 leaders. You know how these company meetings go, right? There's 3 or 4 leaders that get on stage and they'll tell their story, or they'll present something about the company. Well, every one of the leaders that got on stage mentioned the fact that they had invested heavily in mentorship over the years.
Mm.
And I'm like, huh, I never even thought about that. So when I left there, I went looking for a mentor. I invested in mentorship. And I'm like, this is what I missed for the last 4 decades, because I had the exact same opportunities that everybody else had, and the same strategies, the same products. And then people like Kelly Tolar took off, and I'm still just piddling and doing nothing, because in my mind, it's a battle. Different people have different battles. Some people it's self-worth, some people it's just fear and doubt or whatever. And those are things that you can overcome, but you have to have somebody help you to overcome them. Find somebody that believes in you and that can not sugarcoat things, because sugarcoating is not going to change anything. But
Yeah.
people that will hold you accountable, and you can change that mindset. And so, and that's what I've done now. And I'm helping other people do that, because that's the key to success. And I mean, you've got such a great mindset, and I love what you've done.
Oh, well, thank you, Ray. I cannot wait to see. I think, what did you say? This is podcast 4 or
This
5?
is episode 5, and it will be airing Sunday. It's this Sunday. What's today? The 28th. So yeah, it'll be airing this Sunday at 6 p.m. You find my calendar, and I'll tell you what date that is. Here we go. That will be February 1st. Wow, we're out of January already.
Wow. Yeah, I'm like looking at, let me get my calendar. So exciting. So when you said 5, you know what comes to my mind?
What comes to your mind?
add a zero behind it, baby.
Oh yeah.
Real.
Yeah.
And when it comes to like what you want to do, and I remember just tracking numbers. I'm such a numbers, just you got to start somewhere.
I
Got to
love
start
that.
somewhere. 5, say, hey, I'm first goal 50. I'm going to put a zero behind it. Or all right. So let's talk baby steps. Put a 1 in front of the 5.
Hmm.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And then you can change the 1. So we got 25, 35. And yeah, that's how you're going to grow each and every week. Ray, you're going to have some super awesome folks that are going to be able to teach something to somewhere. Somebody is going to give information to someone. There different people all over the world. Like, I might be able to touch somebody else going, hey, well, if that single mom can have success and she had to get $50 off a credit card and she just went to work, that might give somebody hope, right?
Absolutely.
And no matter, so you're going to have like different careers here on your podcast, and just different people. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yep.
I can see you like doing international, talks, and wow. And then you're on another edition of your book, and I
Yeah.
can't wait.
Well, it's going to be fun. Yeah, the podcast. I mean, now we're doing this on YouTube. Obviously, launch it will come out on Sunday night, but it's also on Spotify, iHeart, iTunes, and Amazon Music. So this podcast
Wow.
is on all those. So obviously, you can't watch all of them, but you can listen to them, and the tips are there. So there have been so many nuggets that you've dropped today, Kelly, that it has been awesome. We got about 5 minutes left. You want to talk a little bit more specific about Live Good before we drop off?
Well, Live Good came into my world because I wanted to get healthier. And I was a fan of muscle milk protein shakes. If you're familiar with muscle milk.
Mm-hmm.
And so, anyways, I'm like, I knew about vanilla, but let me try this other vanilla. And so that was kind of like, I really wanted the avenue of a healthy, quick something something on the way to school, because it was fast paced mornings for school, get there early and then leave late, right? So I really wanted something fast, easy out the door, and really just falling in love with what I had. And I think that would be key for people in whatever it is that they want to tackle. You've got to fall in love with what you do.
Mm-hmm.
Fall in love.
Mm-hmm.
If you ever need a break on what you do, go have your day and come on back.
Yep. I've always said you got to follow your passion
Yeah.
because, I mean, when it comes to business opportunities like Live Good, there's so many different companies with compensation plans. You can't really fall in love with a compensation plan, right? It's got to be the product, whatever that product is that you can fall in love with. Then you can, once you fall in love with the product, then it's easy to share. And when you're sharing, you're not selling anymore. So a
Yeah.
lot of people get hung up on selling. I know I did. But when you're just sharing, no big deal. So you have to be a product of the product and you have to be passionate about your product, which obviously you are.
I am. I am so much. I remember when we started, we had 7 products. Now we've got close to 50. So yeah, we've got pet products now, and we're going to have household cleaners. We're going to have meal replacements. Hey, a company's got to start somewhere.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
yeah.
Factor
Yeah.
4 was my entry because I've always had joint issues, sore joints, inflammation problems, and I lived on a leave. And I always had doctors saying, you need to get off of that. And then lo and behold, factor 4 came around. And I'm like, I think I'll give that a try. And well, I cannot. I remember once way back when we ran out of factor 4 for about 2 months.
Ooh,
Remember the shortage that they had? They had something came up. Oh man, there were so many people upset on that. And I had to go back on my leave. And I'm like, I got to get that factor four. So then I started buying them two at a time instead of one at a time.
Oh, right, right.
Yeah.
So your factor four is making me think about my CBN gummies, my sleep gummies.
Hmm.
I love my magnesium before bed, my sleep gummies, and the CBD oil, a little squig right before bed. Ah, sleep like a baby, and I wake up refreshed.
There you, there you go. I can't imagine you ever not waking up refreshed.
Yeah, I had someone say, "Well, you wake up groggy." I said, "No, I get into having dreams. Oh,
Mm.
you know, you're sleeping good when you have a dream."
Hmm.
So, oh wow, it's so good to see you, Ray.
You too, Kelly. So tell people how they can get in touch with you, how they can get involved with Live Good with you, or if they just want to contact you for whatever. Let's
Well, I
leave
tell
that.
you, there's a wonderful 5-minute video, and this is what sealed the deal for me. I watched the 5-minute video, and I was like, "Hey, y'all know my story." But yeah, bestglobalbiz.com. You can watch a 5-minute video.
Awesome.
Bestglobalbiz.com.
Perfect.
And because we're global.
Yes.
Love it. Love it.
All right.
Thank you for having me. That
Oh,
is such an honor for you to pick me to come and be on your number 5 podcast.
oh, thank you, Kelly. It's been a joy. Again, you dropped so many nuggets. It provided so much value. This is definitely going to be the top podcast so far, and we'll probably have you back again sometime.
That'd be great. That'd be
Awesome.
great. Well, people got to get your book, Ray. They got to get your book, and you got to use a highlighter when you have Ray's book. So,
Thanks. Yep. You could find that on Amazon. Doingwhatyouknow.com/Amazon will take you right to it. And again, that'd be the second edition, which is the white edition. So when you get there, it's going to look a little different than the one you held up, but it's the exact same content
really?
inside.
Okay. I might just want to get a second book so I can say I have your second edition.
There you go. And it's also available as an audio, not an audio book. I'm working on the audio book. It's available on Kindle. So
Awesome. Are you going to be the one doing the audio?
I am. That's why it's taking so long.
That's
Because
great.
a nonfiction book like this, I think, needs to be done in the author's voice.
Yes, me
So,
too.
yeah. So hopefully I'm going to set a goal for 6 months. So by this summer, we'll have the audio book out.
You have an awesome voice.
Oh,
Yeah.
thanks.
Well,
All right, Kelly, that's
thank
going
you.
to wrap us up. This has been a good 30 minutes. Thank you again so much for showing up and sharing your world. I know it's going to touch a lot of hearts and a lot of lives.
Well, I hope so. And you are too. You're going to be helping a lot of people, Ray. Thank you. It's so good to see you.
Thanks. It's good to see you too. Right. Growth happens when knowledge turns into action. If you're ready to keep that work going, join us inside the Doing What You Know community at doingwhatyouknow.com/team. Thanks for spending this time with me. Until next time, keep doing what you know.